welcome back to Ashark Books. So today I'm going to do a recommendation video that I've been meaning to do for a while, and that is favorite sports romances. So I love a good sports romance, and especially this time of year when like football is starting back up again, American football, I start kind of craving them. I have a list of my favorite sports romances, but I actually noticed I've only read a couple this year, which is crazy because it's, like I said, a favorite. So at the end of the video, if you have any recommendations that I haven't mentioned here that you think I would like, please leave them down below for myself and anyone else who's interested, because I feel like I really need to read some more this year. It's kind of sad that I've only read like I think 2 this year, which I am going to mention because I did love them. So the first book is Culty by Sabrina Bowen. If you have not read this, you need to read it. I feel like so many people are recommending it, and for a good reason. So this is actually a soccer romance, and I don't read that many soccer romances, but this one was fabulous, and I love that it was about a female professional soccer player. Need I say more? It was one of the best slow burn romances I've ever read. Of course, Sabrina Bowen is known for that, and I can't say enough good things about this. Like, I loved the story arc, I loved the character development, I loved the romance, so this one was fabulous and really unique to kind of the genre, I think. My next recommendation are 2 hockey romances, or like a series, I guess, and that is the Brooklyn Bruiser series by Sabrina Bowen, which I read last year and really loved. So the first one is Rookie Move, and then I think this is the 3rd one, but it's the other one I own in like physical copy, which is Hard Hitter. And I really loved this series. I especially loved books 2 and 3, I remember, but the whole series is fabulous. And there's also a spin-off kind of series that recently came out. So I haven't actually picked up the spin-off series yet, but I really want to. So yeah, it's basically, this is about hockey players, and each book has their own like couple love story. I really enjoyed it. I just thought Sabrina Bowen did a great job of kind of balancing like having the sports aspect and like that's their job, with also like the romance and like the story arc of the characters. And sometimes I think the balance can get a little off with that kind of thing, but I think she does a fabulous job, and they were just so addicting to read. So definitely recommend them if you haven't read these already. My next recommendation is #Nerd by Cambria Hebert. This is just a personal like favorite of mine. Now I will say this is a college set book, so this one is set in like university setting, so if you don't like new adult, this may not be your cup of tea, but I just have such a soft place in my heart for this book because I don't know, it's a whole series. So basically I think there's like 5 or 6 books, but some of them are about this couple, which is Romeo and Rimmel, and then some are about the other couples that you meet during the book. So I just loved it. It definitely does have a little bit of a cliche. It's, you know, the nerd and the jock of the, you know, the quarterback of the football team, but if you can kind of get past the fact that it's a little bit of a cliche, I still loved it. Like, I'm such a sucker for a cliche sometimes, and it's just like a comforting read, you know? I love the aspect of like found family. Throughout the series, the characters in this book definitely become a family, and I just really love that. So yeah, I can't recommend this enough. I know some people love it and some people haven't, but you know what? To each their own. I absolutely love this series, and I think it's a really good like college set sports romance. My next recommendation is another college set sports romance, which is Sweet Home by Tilly Cole. I'll put a picture up here for you guys. I love that book. It is a series, but again, it's not about the same couple. I think there's 2 books, the first one and then the first book from the guy's perspective. It's such an emotional read. So Sweet Home is again about a college football player I believe it's on the University of Alabama football team. And this is a little bit of an older book. It's one of Tilly Cole's, I think one of her earlier books. But again, I just loved it. I read it years ago, and I've reread it like quite a few times since then. Basically, you have your character, Molly Shakespeare, and she is I think she's actually in grad school because she's very smart, so she's kind of like skipped ahead. And she is like a TA for one of our main character, Rome's classes, and that's kind of where it starts. There's a lot more to it. There's a lot like going on with both their families, and this one I will say, a little more on the angsty side, a little more on the drama-filled side, but like I still loved it. And again, I thought it was a really good college set romance that was a little bit different from some of the other ones I've read. So 2 books that I read this year that I absolutely loved were the Carla Sorenson books. I think it's like the Devil's Wolves series. Again, I'll put pictures up. But it was the Bombshell Effect was book 1, and book 2 is the X Effect, and there is a 3rd book out, but I haven't read it yet, which I think is the Marriage Effect. So this is about the main guy characters on these are on professional football teams, so like the NFL. And the female characters, at least in the first 2, both work within the team. So I really loved these because I liked that the women had very strong personalities. They had jobs, they were hardworking, and I just thought they were really well done. Both stories are really different from each other too. Like you definitely have 2 very different tropes going on with the 2 first books, which I liked. Sometimes series can kind of get a little too similar, and I thought they did a really good job keeping these different. So if you want a good football one, I thought that Carla Sorenson did a fantastic job with those, just with awesome characters. And it would have been a great book without the football aspect, but just adding that and adding that kind of drama of the football team was just like an added bonus. And the last one I want to recommend is Longshot by Kennedy Ryan, which I read. I did read that one earlier this year as well. And I really love this book. This is a basketball kind of romance, but I do want to say, to me, this one doesn't read exactly like I'm quoting, like normal sports romance. It's a little more on the heavier side. If you've read it, I'm sure you know like what I mean. I still think it's for sure worth a read. And I believe Kennedy Ryan won a Rita Award. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe she did for this book, and or at least the series. And I totally know why. It was such a well-written book. The characters, like their emotional arcs, everything was perfect in this book, but like bring the tissues, because it is an emotional journey and you get so sucked into like empathizing with the characters in Longshot that it's really like hard to like see them go through some of the things they go through. So just be warned about that. It's definitely not as light as a lot of the other ones that I mentioned. Not that they don't have substance, but like this one to me was definitely more hard-hitting than they were, if that makes sense. So definitely a favorite still, and definitely recommend. And it's a basketball romance, which I don't read very many of. Alright guys, so those are my recommendations for my personal favorite sports romances, but please let me know what your favorites are down below, because like I said, I love them. Especially I'm a sucker for a football romance, so if you have any good ones that I haven't read or haven't mentioned, definitely let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to give the video a like and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!